Hi, I'm Norman A. Hood, financial advisor and host of the Exit Plan Show. We help business owners enjoy more freedom, grow their companies faster, transition ownership seamlessly, and create lasting legacies. Today's guest is Andrew Holmes. He's with Executive Financial Services in Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Norm.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We talked by email and on the phone, I guess, a time or two. I'm going to start out by having you introduce yourself to our audience and tell them a little bit about your career path.
Okay. Sure. So my name is Andrew Holmes. I've been with Executive Financial Services for almost 5 years now. We are a boutique ESOP consulting firm based in Memphis with a national sort of footprint. I didn't really know it at the time, but I've been preparing for this career for like the last 17 years of my life. I've got a degree in accounting, I've got a law degree, and I've got a master's in tax from Washington University in St. Louis.
Oh, great. It's a good school.
And wanted to do estate planning, but more of your typical estate planning attorney, you know, drafting RLTs, ILAs, that sort of thing, and sort of having exit planning, you know, whether it was succession planning through an FLP or something like that. And actually, that's what I'm doing, because through an ESOP, a business owner can, you know, provide an exit plan for himself or herself. I just didn't realize that I would do exit planning through this route. So I basically got to the same place. I just went down a different path than I previously thought.
Well, you got a good background. Our daughter went to school in St. Louis, so she went to St. Louis University, but...
great town, great schools, yeah.
Right. How do you think people that know you the best, how do you think they describe you personally?
Well, I would hope they would describe me as energetic, fun, ambitious, goal-oriented, and for those people who've worked with me in the professional arena, is very professional and pleasant to work with.
Okay. As far as Executive Financial Services, as you said, you're an ESOP firm. Can you explain to our audience all the different services you provide in that area?
Well, in terms of, we're sort of a all-in-one ESOP consulting shop. We're a boutique ESOP practice. ESOPs are our only business. And we've got a very deep focus with a very narrowly tailored expertise. And so what we do is we work with a business owner, and we'll be engaged by a business owner to implement an ESOP, and that entails doing a feasibility analysis to make sure that the ESOP works for this company, and that an ESOP is the right direction this business owner wants to take. And then once the business owner decides that he or she wants to engage us to implement an ESOP, then we assemble the ESOP team, which consists of the trustee team and all the trustees, legal advisors, and financial advisors. Work with the company's team, make sure that the company has good company counsel that has at least some experience in ERISA, because this is a very sort of unique area. And also work with the CPA, because the trustee, and if there is bank financing involved, they're going to want to see pro forma financials, that what the company's balance sheet, for example, is going to look like after the transaction is implemented. And we also prepare financing requests and distribute that to potential lenders and interview those lenders to the extent that the company wants to involve outside financing. So we're sort of a one-stop shop. When you hire us, ESOPs are our only business, and we understand that a business owner has a business to run on a daily basis, and he or she doesn't need to involve herself in making sure that things go accordingly, so that we move towards closing. That's our job.
Okay. So I think you touched on what differentiates you from some of the other firms that do ESOPs. I know a lot of ERISA firms dabble in ESOPs, but I think what makes you different than most firms is you only do ESOPs. You don't do anything else.
That's right. We've been around since 1981, and we've been operating in both the 401k administration and ESOP arena. And then in 2007 or around there, our firm president, Kelly Fennell, decided to sell the 401k side of his practice and go all in on ESOPs. And it was just, he saw that there was an emerging opportunity with the baby boomers starting to want to look towards succession and exit planning, and he identified that market and realized that ESOPs were going to be a really nice way to provide for him and his practice going forward.
Okay. Is there anything you like to do more than anything else at Executive Financial Services?
I like to really get to know the business owner and the company. When a client comes into the office and as we sort of start working towards closing, I only know the business owner possibly, and maybe the CFO or the president. I've got 2, maybe 3 company contacts, and all I know about the company is what I see on the financials. And it's really nice to get to know different personalities and different sort of ways people think and what drives that person, because you're dealing with, on a daily basis, I'm dealing with entrepreneurs, and it's nice to get a sense of what drives them and what makes them tick. And then when we implement the ESOP, we go and we roll out what this means to you, to all of the company's employees, because through the ESOP, that provides them an ownership mechanism in the company. And so it's nice to actually put faces with the people who have made this company what it is, that all I see is in numbers. So it's nice to be able to sort of see that reward and the looks on their faces when they start to realize what an ESOP can do for them in the long term towards retirement.
Okay. I always like to ask people why they ended up in where they're at. And, sometime way back, maybe in grade school, you decided you wanted to pursue this path, or at least get involved in accounting and law. What for you? What's the reason you're?
Law was always sort of a dream of mine, but I knew that I needed a solid business background, and so I needed accounting or finance in terms of an undergrad major was going to provide me with the best opportunity to sort of get a 30,000-foot view of how businesses operate. I went into my interview with Executive Financial Services not knowing how to spell ESOP. I thought, coming from the background in BLLM program at WashU, I had heard all the 4-letter acronyms, ILIT, GRAT, GRUT that were out there. And so when I started to learn about ESOPs and sort of see how, if you take a step back and see how this can actually help me do exactly what I thought I was going to do anyway, that was a really nice thing to realize.
Okay. Well, normally at this point, I ask our guests for tips, and it could be one of 4 areas. One, how to help a business owner enjoy a little more personal time, grow their company faster is number 2. Transition ownership to a third party or an insider, and then number 4 is how to redefine their purpose or maybe leave a lasting legacy. In your case, I'm going to actually pick the area.
Okay.
A lot of times, employers have a deep appreciation for the employees that have gotten them to the point where they can now exit their business and do something else, or at least consider doing something else. Can you explain to our audience how an ESOP can actually help that, and also help them leave a legacy?
Yeah, most of our clients have at least explored one of your traditional exit planning paths, whether it was a sale to a third party, whether it be a strategic buyer or a private equity group, maybe talked about a sale to insiders, management buyout, that sort of thing. And many of them have even gone so far as to get a letter of intent from a private equity group or a letter of intent from a strategic buyer. And when they started to think about it, and we had one client over in West Memphis who actually asked his the person who was going to buy the company, what's your plans? He said, well, we're going to close it down and move it to Cincinnati, which is where we're located. So that's not going to work for me. I've got people who have been with me for the last 20 to 30 years, and I'm not going to do something that might be good for me, but isn't good for them or this company in the long run. And so that's real. And an ESOP provides a business owner with a way to create an exit plan, or sort of a glide path to retirement in a very tax efficient way. Get some liquidity, sort of take some chips off the table, cash in on his life's work, but can still sort of perpetuate his legacy, protect employees' jobs, and protect the independence of the company going forward. Okay,
it's a great vehicle. I think it's one that people need to find out more about. So,
I agree.
Good interview. That was Andrew Holmes with Executive Financial Services. For more information about Andrew and his company, please check out the show notes for this episode on our website.